Home again, snow is falling and, quote, aggressively cold weather is expected to move from the south up the country over the next 24 hours. Yes, it's winter and yes, this is winter weather, but it's worth reminding ourselves of the stock risks, road closures, black ice on the roads, snow on the roads and some brutally cold winds heading our way. And Aucklanders who've had enough of the rain, well, there's more rain to come. Let's start in the south where, as MetService meteorologist Georgina Griffiths warns us, the cold, cold, cold is coming from.
Well, progressively colder air. I mean, we've seen good snow down south. We've had the Crown Range Road closed earlier today and some decent snowfall accumulations at height. But we're only really just starting to begin pushing that cold air across the country. So we've got a lot of road snows in place for tonight, for the snow to return to low levels in the south tonight, including the Dunedin Highway for a couple of centimetres in the overnight period. Crown Range again gets a fairly good top-up overnight, and all of the high altitude South Island passes gets further snow until tomorrow morning. And of course, the North Island doesn't miss out either, John. We see that southerly, the really cold air start to come in with a bit of a burst. In fact, a good southerly gale kick into Wellington just before lunchtime tomorrow, Tuesday, and that brings a burst of colder air over the North Island. In fact, Remataka Hill Road has a road snow for just a couple of centimetres around the summit tomorrow afternoon and evening. And the Desert Road, we've had a couple of flurries already just at the top, but expecting the freezing level and that cold air to drop into tomorrow, especially after tomorrow afternoon and after dark, where we expect a road snow warning in force for 5 to 10 centimetres of snow later tomorrow. So that's quite impactful for people trying to move around. And of course, then if we keep cold in the week. This week signals very cold, and then we go into frost and black ice Thursday for the South Island in particular, and Friday for the North Island. So just a bit of care travelling on the roads and keeping up to date with which roads are open, which ones have snow and or ice on. That'd be the key for people trying to move around this week, John. Yeah,
the black ice is dangerous, and we'll look out for road closures as the week goes on. This is fairly typical for June, July, isn't it? But we forget and are shocked back into remembrance every year by how brutally cold that southerly can be.
Yeah, I mean, it's not abnormal for this time of year when we're late June, and we've had actually a couple of really good or cold southerly outbreaks over New Zealand quite early in the year, remember, in April and also in May. And so this is the kind of the characteristics of this winter that we're seeing is once we get a southerly, we're getting 3 to 4 days of it, and then a good hard ridge coming in behind, which in wintertime spells frost and fog. So, yeah, I think that might be the flavour of the winter. So, of course, take care on the roads, people, but, you know, there are some winners, and those would be the ski fields.
Georgina, just before we move on, is it ever going to stop raining in Auckland? And why does anyone live in the city in the J months, June and July? God, it's awful.
Really good question. I mean, actually, I'm looking at the year to date, the rainfall right across the country, and there are not many places that have had a gutful of the rain, John, or haven't had a gutful of the rain, and haven't already tracked well above where they should be for the time of year. And Auckland, in fact, the Waikato, Taranaki North, the Western North Island has indeed had far too much rain already, and we're only just starting the true winter, our winter rain regime. We do eventually stop raining. There's a bit of work, for Auckland in particular, there's worse to come. So tomorrow looks actually worse than today for us. Those brief, short, sharp, heavy showers continue, and they're laced with hail, of course. And we see an intensification of those around noon as one of those cold fronts moves through. There's quite a few of them. And finally we see a clearance. Windy as, cold as, and the showers only finally clear Tuesday afternoon. So the showers do start to migrate away from where people live, Tuesday in the South Island and Tuesday night up here. But really it's just those cold days that really signals as a cold day tomorrow and frosty mornings Thursday and Friday. So cold week overall.